Hey everyone, welcome to the Let's Talk live stream. And today we're going to be doing Groundhog Day. So today we're going to be talking about 1993's Groundhog Day. We're going to do a watch along of it. It's going to be about 101 minutes, this film. This is the film that's directed by Harold Ramis, stars Bill Murray, Andy McDowell. It's one of the most classic comedies of the 1990s. It came out actually in 1993. I think I already said that. 1993 was actually a great year for film, but this is probably my favorite of that year. This is actually my favorite Bill Murray film. So we'll wait a little while until everyone gets in here and wants to join in the watch along, and then we'll get started. So once we get to that point, we'll give everyone like 15, 20 minutes, and then we'll get going, get everyone in here. I know that 6:30 is kind of a weird time. That was kind of on me. So if you're watching this on the replay, on the next day, we are actually filming this on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. I don't know if Puxatani Phil saw his shadow today or not, but if he did, I guess that means we're going to have more winter and less winter. I don't know what the hell they do. Out here, actually, we have, I think the groundhog is called Hotesville Hank or something like that. I'm not too sure. Saw that this morning, but yeah, this film, though, is an all-time classic. Once you guys jump in here, you guys can start asking some questions as well. I'll answer those. Even during the watch-along, I'll answer some questions. Just get everything going. So hopefully you guys are all having a good day. Let everyone jump in here before we get started. I'll give you guys all a countdown. So if you're on the replay, I'll count you guys down before we get started so you know where to start the film. Basically act like it's a commentary track. I'll just talk over everything. So, and if you have anything you guys want to know about the movie, how long you think it is, if you're watching the replay too, let me know in the comment section. How long do you guys think this was? How long was Bill Murray stuck in the time loop? How long was Phil Connors stuck in the time loop? Rogue One's here. What's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. I'm glad you made it to the live stream. I got everything here so that hopefully I don't have to get up this time. And if anything goes out, guys, I'll be starting like a second stream with the same name to make sure that you guys can find it again. Just like a couple of live streams ago, we had to go out in the middle and we had to start it up again. Hopefully we have no issues today, but if we do, that's exactly what I'll be doing. So you'll be able to find it that way. Rogue One grabbing some food for tonight's stream. Nice, man. I already actually ate before this, so I'm all ready to go. Just ready to jump in here, start the movie. Hopefully you guys all enjoy this. I don't know what we'll be watching along in March, but it was too good to pass up watching Groundhog Day this year. For a film like this being, a very important movie, considered one of the greatest comedies of all time. But this movie actually, despite all its positivity, has some negatives attached to it. This ended the Harold Ramis and Bill Murray, not just their friendship, but their working partnership that had started with 1980s Caddyshack. They made Ghostbusters together, and Bill Murray and Harold Ramis, they weren't getting along anymore. Bill Murray was going through a divorce during the making of this film, and I guess he took that negativity to set, and him and Harold Ramis had blow-ups. And Harold Ramis was not known for, blowing up on people. He was he's pretty much like a sweetheart. So for him to blow up on somebody like that means that Bill Murray really pushed his buttons, which, knowing Bill Murray, and I love Bill Murray, that's not a surprise at all. But still, you hate to see the end of a friendship like that, the one that these two had, and like that, especially when you make such classic films like Ghostbusters together. And, Stripes, I know that's a big one for a lot of people in the 1980s as well. And, Harold Ramis, he was great. He was one of the best and passed away at too young of an age, but he gave us so many great films that he acted and directed in. I even enjoyed him in Orange County. I thought he was really, really funny in that, in this small little role. He's just, he's that good. So what is everyone else doing today? You guys doing anything besides this? How was your Groundhog Day? Excited for more winter wherever you guys live in this part of this world. Where I am, we actually haven't gotten too much snow this year, thankfully. But every year I have to watch Groundhog Day, mainly because it kind of feels like a, winter movie. To get snow on the ground the whole time they're in Pennsylvania. He predicts the wrong weather situation, said there was going to be no blizzard. Then, of course, there was a blizzard. Rogue One wrote, tomorrow it's movie day to see 3 films in theaters. What are you seeing tomorrow? I know you told me a couple of them, but I didn't know you were going to see 3 films, Rogue One. I'm hoping to see a movie this weekend myself. I'm still trying to see Zone of Interest. They finally started playing that out here by me. but I don't know if I'm gonna be able to have a chance. It's just been such a busy day, and it's gonna be a busy weekend. I had to go get taxes done today. Everyone loves doing their taxes. Had to do that one. Man. So if you guys are still coming in, we'll be jumping on in like a few more minutes, and then we'll start watching along to the movie. Wonka, Argyle, and I don't know if it's the third film, maybe Poor Things or American Fiction. Shamrock Balls wrote, "Hey, what's up, buddy? Glad you can make it. That's why I didn't respond to your last message, buddies, because I started the stream. So I will respond to that message after the stream. Rogue One. As far as I actually saw both Poor Things and American Fiction. Out of those two movies, I think I liked American Fiction more. It's a very, very good film, very topical for today. And Jeffrey Wright gives a fantastic performance in that movie. It's a really, and Sterling K. Brown is great in that movie as well. Poor Things, though, Emma Stone gives a great performance, and so does Mark Ruffalo and Willem Dafoe. But I just don't know if I enjoyed that movie so much. I don't think I'll ever probably watch that movie again, but I did really appreciate the performances and production design of Poor Things, but just not necessarily my movie. I've never been a big Yorgos Lanthimos fan anyway. I know I'm pronouncing his name wrong. That's almost impossible, but I really have always enjoyed. I haven't really always enjoyed his work. I've watched every single one of his films, and I've never walked out of him. Even The Lobster, going, that was a great movie. I always appreciated them more than I've enjoyed them. So I would say my choice I would go with I'm sorry, what was that? The second one. I would go with American Fiction. I think that's the better of the two movies. Rogue 1677. Thomas Anderson's here with hello, fellas. What's up, Thomas? Glad you can make it, buddy. Rogue One wrote, what are you watching Groundhog Day on? Blu-ray or 4K or digital? I am actually watching Groundhog Day on last year's release for its 30th anniversary 4K Steelbook edition, which is not the original one. There was a 4K that came out, I believe, in 2018 for its 25th anniversary. This one they just added on Dolby Vision. It had HDR10 on the first release, so this one has Dolby Vision on it. So I'll be watching this release today, but I am actually watching it on a Series X, so I'll be forced to watch it without Dolby Vision. So figures. And Shamrock Balls wrote, no problem at all, John. Forgot about the stream until I got a reminder, but I'm still watching the making of for our next pod, going on forever. I'm going to be watching that after the live stream. I got to get some more. I did some studying during the week, but nothing visually, so I'll be watching that tonight too after this. Mr. Smelly Potatoes wrote, hello, what's up, buddy? Glad you could make it to the live stream tonight too. Rogue One just wrote, oh, I like the Steelbook design, but the design for the Blu-ray release was bad. Yeah, I used to have that, actually, the previous Blu-ray release, and it wasn't a bad Blu-ray, honestly. I remember enjoying it, but the 4K is a big upgrade, and the last year's scan was an even a bigger upgrade over the previous release, so it's rare already that we're getting some already releases that were already printed on 4K Blu-ray, and now they're already upgrading them. That's why I'm hoping like some of the Nolan 4Ks from the very beginning start to get some upgrades as well. That's the reason why, because I want to see them get visual enhancements, because the first run of 4K Blu-rays, they were good. They were upgrades over Blu-ray, but nothing like the 4K Blu-rays we're getting now. Now they're just coming out looking gorgeous for the most part. Some bad ones still slip in there, though. All right, let's check and see what time it is. It is 6:38, so we'll go another few minutes before we get started. Thomas Anderson wrote, how was your day going so far, guys? It's been pretty good. I was telling everyone it was kind of I had to get my taxes done today, so that's always a fun thing to do, going to see the accountant and finding out how poor you are. Love doing that every single year, so went and did that. Food shopped, all good stuff today. Filmed this Sunday's Let's Talk Physical Media this morning, so look for that on Sunday. And that's what we'll be doing. And Mr. Smelly Potato wrote, I'm trying to see every movie in theaters this year. Oh, if you could do that, that is awesome. I try and do that every year too, Mr. Smelly Potatoes. But, unfortunately, we don't get every single movie out here, so I miss out on some. That's why, like, Zone of Interest got nominated for Best Picture, and I still haven't been able to see it just because it's really still scattered around Long Island here. Some theaters have it, but I'd have to drive out of my way for it. So I'm hoping next week I can see that and All of Us Strangers. So I try and see 100 movies in theaters each year. That's usually my goal. I no way I hit everything though, but I hope you do, Mr. Smelly Potato. That's awesome. Tom Sanders, Dolby Vision always looks stunning with 4K films. It really does. It really does. And Rogue One rode decent today. Good. I'm glad you're having a good day, buddy. Hopefully, it stays going pretty well. I know everyone's probably in different time zones anyway. It's 6:30, something around where I am. I know you guys are probably all over the different spots of this country or different parts of the world. Shamrock Balls is in Ireland, so everyone's all over the place. Rogue One mine. It's 4:40 p.m. Wow. Yeah, so like just kind of around dinner time for you guys. You know, it's crazy to think what all 24 different time zones. But yeah, Dolby Vision, I always felt like it's always slightly better than HDR10, but sometimes it's rare. Like there's a 4K Blu-ray for Super 8. That actually I think has better HDR than Dolby Vision. And I was actually talking to somebody this week, and I also think for Bram Stoker's Dracula, the one that's directed by Francis Ford Coppola, that one I think the Dolby Vision is better than the HDR10 too. And they are different scans, which well, it's the same scan just with different HDR put over it, but I actually think that the HDR is better, even though most people seem to prefer the Dolby Vision. So it does happen. So let's see. What do we got? 6:41, so 4 minutes. All right. I'm going to hit play, but I'm not playing yet. I'm just going to get it all loaded up so that I'm at the 0.0 mark. Let's get this all booted up. Oh, PG rating. Safe for the whole family. FBI warning. Still need those. All right. 5 years in prison. So once it gets past the FBI warning, which is still going for some reason, pretty damn long, honestly. That's weird. It actually froze up a little bit. Haven't had that issue before. PG rating, what a joke for some films like Beetlejuice and Indiana Jones 2. Yeah, Indiana Jones 2. How that slipped by the rating system blows my mind. But you know what? That movie can be actually taken for why we get PG-13 today. People saw the movie and saw someone get their heart ripped out, and they're like, you know what? Not good for an 11-year-old, but 13. It's pretty good. And I think in Region B, that's 15 years old, right? Because I always see that on there. And then I think it's 15 and 18 are their rating systems, whereas we get PG and R. PG, PG-13, and R. You never see G anymore, though. It's very, very rare. So it's kind of still booting up. So we're just about ready to go, guys. It's the final countdown. Piracy is also not a victimless crime. All right, pausing it right now. It's at the 0.04 mark. That's where we'll be hitting play from when I start. And I'll give you guys a countdown to it. That's true. No G-rated films. I think the Ice Age films actually were the last films I remember being rated G, or at least the first couple. I don't know if they were all rated G. I know there was, about 4 of them. I enjoyed the Ice Age films to a point. Coffee in that cup. Got to keep my energy up. Shamrock Balls Road. Region B also has 12. 12 was brought in for Batman 1989 as they thought 15 was too high, but PG was too low. Really? They actually made a rating different for Batman 1989? I actually had no idea about that. Even through all the research, I had no idea that was the case. That's crazy. No, Ice Age was PG. Oh, okay. I thought the first one was G. All right. Well, I remember I think maybe it was the first Rugrats movie was rated PG. Was rated G as well, but I don't know. G ratings really don't get passed around too much anymore. I guess they figured out there really was never a big difference between G and PG. It's always been strange to me that they even have the differences, but I didn't know that, Shamrock. That's crazy. Rogue One wrote, I like the Ice Age films as well. Really funny moments. Want to know the violence? PG-13 films out there. Want to know the VG-13 films out there. I'm near certain that was the case, John, but it was 15 on VHS. So maybe they only had it for theaters and it was like a special situation. But that's actually crazy that Batman caused them, because Batman, I don't really ever think is a very violent film. So that's pretty fascinating. It's dark, but it's like a dark film in general. It's dark in tone. The sets are dark, but I don't ever think of this as like something that needs to have that high of a rating. But that's pretty fascinating. I find that interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to count it down and we're going to get this one started. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Columbia Pictures, now owned by Sony. Beowulf was that movie. It was pretty violent with some deaths and scenes and blood on camera. Yeah, you know what? Beowulf, I always remember reading that in high school, actually. It's really funny. That was a movie I was not a movie. I didn't see the movie, but I read the book in high school and I had a teacher, the way he would say Beowulf was like Beowulf. Always sticks out in my head. Very Ned Ryerson? Ned the Head, Needle Nose Ned? See if I can bring up the comments on here so I can just keep an eye on this. Make sure I look, to my best. I think I read somewhere that Harold Ramis actually wrote this song that's playing, which might be true. So Thomas, Goofy movie. I always enjoyed the first Goofy movie. Oh yeah, the director's cut. Most director's cuts are awesome. Some are and useless, but a lot of director's cuts much better than the original film. Zack Snyder's been making a killing at this. Oh, music. I thought you said Goofy movie with Thomas Anderson. It is weird, the music. I think Harold Ramis actually wrote that music for it. That just shows us right away how Phil Connors, he just seems a little bit bitter. You just see the undertone of his bitterness as he's talking. Chris Elliott in this movie. Steven Tobolowsky. There's Ned Ryerson right there. Oh, good. We're going to miss that blizzard. I have a feeling he's not right about that. What would you say was the worst director's cut? You see, mine would be The Warriors and Devil's Advocate. The Warriors, actually, the director's cut doesn't bother me so much. I hate the beginning of it, but I like those splash transitions. I would say my least favorite director's cut is probably Dumb and Dumber. They try and extend out the scenes, and it's because it's, now they put in a lot more of the R-rated jokes, and I just don't think it works. I think from a comedic standpoint, they actually edited Dumb and Dumber perfectly. You did not have to do those. You didn't have to extend those scenes. I just don't think it works, and it really bothers me. Also, Friday's director's cut, so another comedy, doesn't work that well either. I actually prefer the theatrical cut of Friday as well. So those would be my two least favorites. Fun fact about the Warriors transition, they were part of the original idea for the director. I like the theatrical cut of Dumb and Dumber too, wrote Mr. Spelltail. Thank you for agreeing with me, buddy. Yeah, I read that actually, Rogue One, that those were the original idea, and they didn't have enough money or enough time. The movie was being rushed out, so they couldn't get those splash transitions. I like the splash transitions. It's that Walter Hill does the opening before. That's what I would do, by the way, with Andy when Andy McDowell's doing. That's what I would do in front of a blue screen. I tried to use a blue screen actually here on the channel when I first started the channel, but unfortunately my skin is too white, couldn't get the lighting right, and I would just keep going in and out. It's the same problem I actually have with Snapchat, so I don't use that either. This song I like. This is great. Kind of gets you like, that's why this movie feels so lighthearted, but it actually has big philosophical themes in it. Music by George Fenton. Thomas Anderson. Director's cut for Dumb and Dumber was terrible, and as a whole, making the characters too unlikable and too disturbing. Thomas, I couldn't have said it any better. That's exactly how I feel about it. Is you make them feel a little bit too weird, especially in the hot tub scene, how they extend that out. It just does not work at all. And I felt like that was the right decision to cut it the way they cut it, because they feel also almost too dumb in that which is something they really wanted to capitalize in Dumb and Dumber 2, which that movie really bothers me. So this is the first time I've watched this 4K with the HDR10 on over the Dolby Vision, and the Dolby Vision is much better than the HDR10. It's actually very surprising. I did the review last year, and I remember the Dolby Vision was a big improvement, but it's a very, very noticeable improvement because watching the whole movie with HDR, I'm like, man, the Dolby Vision really looked that much better. Still looks good though, the 4K with the HDR10. Andy McDowell. This is the only time I ever really liked Andy McDowell. I've always kind of felt like I like her, but I've always, other movies, she just doesn't always fit in. But she has the perfect energy for this movie, perfect counterpart to Bill Murray, who's just always so cynical. And he's got the big arc. Everybody else in this movie they're always playing the same day. They don't realize what's going on. Bill Murray's the one who gets to the big story. So, but I think Andy McDowell, Chris Elliott, they do a great job in this film. That looks really nice. This is what Long Island looks like right now, if you guys are wondering. Just dirty and disgusting and full of dirt. But Pennsylvania's not too far from here. Remember those light bars on the Mercuries? Mr. Smelly Potato. I liked her Multiplicity. Another Harold Ramis movie, I think. Yes, that is. And actually, funny story, Mr. Smelly Potato, about Multiplicity. The reason why Michael Keaton did that movie is because he was supposed to originally do this movie, but he turned it down. So he regretted that decision so much that when Harold Ramis asked him again, he did Multiplicity. And I like Multiplicity, but it's no Groundhog Day. This is definitely the height of Harold Ramis as far as being a director, in my opinion. And Bill Murray. I always like the likable characters more than unlikables, especially in horror films when they die. That's great. Well, I agree with that. I always prefer the likable characters too, but Bill Murray, I mean, he's one of my favorite actors ever, and he plays these characters perfect. Like a character who, he's just always super sarcastic. And, he's got to learn his lesson, but then he's still kind of sarcastic. I guess I see a little bit of me in him. I can be sarcastic, that quick wit with the sense of humor. Bill Murray just nails that in pretty much everything he's ever been in. Even when he starts going to Wes Anderson, he brings that similar energy, but he just does it in a more dramatic way. But in this movie, he balances the comedy and drama so perfectly. That's why I even prefer this. So I love how he just picks on Larry the whole time. Chris Elliott, always been a strange dude, but I love him. I always refer to myself as the talent as well. And I always report that right to my directors and producers, and they always get a good laugh at it, especially since, I'm the director and the producer as well. So there it is. The first time we hear Sonny and Cher. 6 a.m. God, I haven't woken up at 6 a.m. in years, thank God. I got you, babe. I got you, babe. Man, Sonny really rode the coattails of Cher for a long time. I mean, he became a senator, so I guess he made pretty good for himself. Oh, the blizzard. He was so confident himself that blizzard wasn't going to hit anything, but what do you know? I wake usually by noon or for school 7 a.m. Yeah, it always kind of works like that. I don't get up that much later after 6 a.m. I get up every day at 7:20. And if I get up any later than that, the dogs would they'll wake me up. So I ain't getting that much further after that. The blizzards, you lied to us, you fool, Thomas Anderson wrote. Yeah, that's a big mistake. I love this guy too. Oh, you think so? Always picking on these sweet people too, just because he thinks he's smarter than all of them. It's just to feel better about himself. He thinks he should be working at a better news station, but I don't think he did get a job at a better news station. He says that he's got an offer. I don't think he's got an offer. That's just him trying to put himself above Andy McDowell and Chris Elliott's character because he's just not happy in his position. And I mean, he's a weatherman. I'd be a weatherman, but it's one of the only jobs in the entire planet where you get paid to be wrong a lot of the time. If I made as much mistakes as weathermen make, I wouldn't have a job. What we call snow. As I usually like to say from Bill, comment, no, no shiz, Sherlock. It's a good one. Did you want to talk about the weather? Oh, he knew they didn't have espresso, by the way. He's just got to be that guy. Just a, I like how that lowers by the next day. I mean, I just love that design too of that bed and breakfast. Would love to stay at something like that. Here we go. This homeless guy comes back in a little while, pretends to look for money. Never had a chance of giving him any money. Ned, there we go. Stephen Tobolowsky, one of the best character ever. This guy has appeared in a variety of roles. He is great, and an underrated performance from him in the movie Sneakers, if you've ever seen that from 1992. But I mean, this guy's in he's in so many different movies. Stephen Tobolowsky. He's even got a good podcast talking about it because he's been with so many. He's worked with so many different actors and directors. He's got stories for days. Bing. Oh man. See, if he has a real sister named Mary Pat, that would make me think that he did go to high school, but I don't know. Mm. More than likely, he didn't go to insurance. He didn't really go to school with them. Nobody can use more insurance. It's already getting this all. Oh man, I've met a lot of them. A lot of Neds. Everyone just saying hi. Oh, it's Faith. I don't think he actually remembers Ted. No, I don't think he remembers Ted either, but I'm still not sure, Mr. Smelly Potato, if they did or didn't go to high school together. That's the one thing. Like, I get it. He's still trying to sell him insurance, but does Ned remember him, or is he just, he knows Phil Connor's the weatherman? That's the question. And this is such a dick move. You think he doesn't know? That's why he gets punched in the face. I've seen so many mornings like that with that little bit of snow on the ground, the sun coming up. See, now this looks really good. He just looks so miserable. That's how I look going to my job. Maybe a little worse. I'm not sure. You see how sweet she is? Like, this is the perfect character for Andy McDowell because you can believe that she would be that sweet. She's trying to even brighten this guy's day up. Like, I'd give up after 10 minutes if someone was talking to me like that all day. He's still got a little bit of charm to him. Uh, there we go. Up on that Brian Doyle Murray up there, brother of Bill Murray. Yeah, see, producing did a good job. It's a good showmanship. February is such a weird part of the year. Now, is this only an American thing? I'm sure they don't look at groundhogs in the rest of the world, right? This news is going well right now. Yeah, he's just kind of blowing it off. Miss Brian Doyle Murray without his mustache. Seen a crowd like that before. We're gonna get more winter. That's it. Faith Shamrock and Rogue One said hi. I told her because she won't say anything. Wait, it is the second. Yep. Today's the day. Today's the day that Bill Murray's Phil Connors is living out every day. How long is this day taken, by the way? I've always thought it's about 100 years because some of the stuff this guy has to learn in that amount of time, most people can't learn in less than 10 years, probably. The ice sculpting, the piano, I don't know how long that takes. Most kids learn the piano. They get piano lessons. Now, this, I've been in a blizzard. I've driven in blizzards like this. Not a good idea. Ugh. Nice going, Phil. You must. Had to say shit. Yeah, he told everyone this. Now imagine people believe them. They must. But it's all right. Now, I heard a theory on this, and I'll tell you guys. Think about it. If they would have gone through this tunnel, they would have got out of the town. Now, is this curse or whatever happened to him that he's repeating the same day? Does it only happen because he's in Puxatawny? So this is like the way out, but it's blocked off. There is no way out. So it's like, look at that tunnel. It's a black tunnel. So that's kind of trying to tell you that he's trapped. He's already trapped. South Blizzard is a couple of flakes. This looks good. He hates Puxatawny that much. I'm thinking. Had to call from a payphone. It's 1993. Oh, you make the weather. Bull crap. It's Mother Nature. She is the weather of the world. Yes, Rogue One. Well, he thought that he was above it. That's how cocky Bill Murray is in this film. That's why he gets hit with a shovel. And that's what happens. Don't be a dick. Can I have one more of these with some booze in it? I guess I'll pour myself another glass as well. If they're celebrating, I'm celebrating, right? It's Friday night. It's Groundhog Day. That sweater is ridiculous, though. I mean, Chris Elliott, he's a looker, I guess, in his own way. I mean, that looks like a bourbon. I'm so close to rating. No beer for me. It's Dr. Pepper. I love Dr. Pepper Rogue One, though. It's actually I used to hate it when I was a kid, but Dr. Pepper really grew on me. Who tests the temperature out in the shower? You reach in, you test it. If it's too hot or too cold, then you adjust. Actually, he's an animal for that. You don't turn the water on when you get in. It's just some soda. I guess, yeah, some rum and Coke or whatever the hell, Jim Beam and Coke. I think you would know by the second day. It really takes him till the third day to figure out what's going on. That's a nice quilted blanket, but nobody sleeps with the bed also made that nice. Don't forget your booties because it's cold outside. He doesn't even realize yet. I do love the warm feeling of this place. See? He thinks now he just has deja vu, not even realizing what's truly going on yet. Now it's starting to click. Think they're still dyeing Bill Murray's hair here? Looks a little dark for the rest of his face. Yeah, looks like some melted snow. My windows to my house still look like that, single plated glass. Actually, you can see it right there. I put my hand through a window by accident. That's how thin it is. You can feel the cold air. That's why I'm wearing a jacket. I don't think so. He's just a bully at this point still. He's got to learn his lesson. He's going to learn it, though, the hard way. It might be fun for a little while to get stuck in a time loop. But after a while, you're going to want out. The glass behind him looks so nice. Mr. Smelly Potato wrote, "Don't mess with me, poor child." I love how he lowers the percentage here as well. He's still so thrown off. I'd be so thrown off too if I had deja vu for this long. When you get deja vu once, and even though it's like 3 or 4 seconds, feel so strange. And I also like that they don't explain to us what is actually causing this. There it is. 80%. He's so shook right now. Even right there, it's like kind of a warmer moment than what he's been like. Up to this point, he's been just completely cold. It never says how he gets out either. No, well, they just kind of give us that like they just kind of say he got stuck. I guess it's like the universe. Is it religious? We never really know. Is it sci-fi? Who knows what exactly is going on? What is causing this to happen? Originally, when they were financing the movie, they wanted them to write in a reasoning for this, and that was the only way they would finance the film. But eventually, they decided it didn't work, and I think the ambiguous nature of it works much better anyway. Me personally, I'd rather not know, but it does make you curious, which you're gonna build that up, and it's just gonna let you down anyway if they give you the answer. So it's better to just leave it as it is. Of course, he won't. He asked politely to leave him alone, and he's just gonna walk with you and try and sell you insurance. Oh, Bing! I think he's right. I don't think he's got life insurance. If I wasn't married, either would I. This is just seltzer water. Lemon lime seltzer water. Good replacement for soda. I try not to drink as much now. Even though I love soda. Look at all the early 90s clothes. Look at some kid pictures of me. You'll see me wearing half of these outfits. It's a great time if you're a fan of Windbreaker and Sinbad. Also loved Windbreaker. Great era. She was willing. She's like, this dick deserved that. Also, when they were filming this, fun fact, Andy McDowell really was hitting him in the face because Bill Murray asked her to. I guess he wanted to, get the real reaction. I think that's why his eyes are like. And he did this a couple times in this film. He's gonna do it again. So what do you think? He thinks he dreamed the night before? Is that why? Because it's only the second day. Tawny fail. Hello, he's a jolly good fellow. See, at this point, he should realize it's been a while. I do the same thing. I'd be so thrown off. Again, did learn from the day before. Turn the water off outside of the shower, or on rather outside of the shower. Remember when medicine used to come in those glass bottles? There wasn't one today. It's a classic line. I'm gonna say it again, but I just love how homey this set feels. How much like a bed and breakfast it really feels like. Feels like the most comfortable place on the planet. I don't know if they even have places like that anymore. I like how the little sting in the score right now, overly dramatic. I love that. Kind of makes it feel like a little bit more serious than it is. It's a nice hotel overall, Rogue One. Yeah, I mean, I would love to stay at a place like that. I mean, I guess Airbnbs. There's probably got to be a few of them out there. Pencil's not broken. Yeah, day 3. That's it. That's how. That's it. He's off. He's in a rush. Don't talk to him. You can notice the salt on the ground and the stairs. We push them. It's perfect for all the other actors. They film these scenes all back to back, so obviously Bill Murray's the one who has to change his tone, whatever scene they're shooting. While other actors like Steven Tobolowsky's got to keep that same energy, even though it's scene to scene. Same thing in this scene with Andy McDowell and Chris Elliott. Just very fascinating how they had to actually film this, how they had to actually set up the schedule for this. Mr. Smelly Potato Roll. Eventually, he just punches Ned. Yeah, and Ned had that coming. I'd be a little fed up too. That's why, like, the name Needle Nose works perfectly for him. She's great as well. Very homey diner. Oh yeah, is that his boss? Even though she's a producer. Kind of looks like my grandparents' house. They had clocks like that on the wall for different time zones. Yeah, I'd be a little freaked out too. I think by day 3 though, I'd start embracing it. Mm-hmm. Like the groundhog, Phil. Oh, these guys. You'll notice Michael Shannon in this diner at some point. He doesn't really get to speak till later in the movie, but he's in here. He was wrong. There's Harold Ramis. Mm. The blizzards was keeping him in Puxatawny because in other movies that have actually capitalized on the Groundhog Day concept, like what's that movie? Palm Springs, or even God, everything. Not everything. Everything. We're all at once. Even though that does have similar concepts in certain areas, but no. Live Die Repeat. What was the name of it? The first name of it? Edge of Tomorrow. those movies, they actually try and go outside of the area and not go to sleep, like try and explore how long it would last. Well, this movie, they keep him in Puxatawny and they say that the blizzard was keeping him there. But what if he tried to drive in the direction away from that and stayed awake? They didn't explore that much in this movie. He never tries that, or at least they don't show us him trying that, which is strange. He just stays kind of in this like few areas, like probably within a couple blocks of each other. It's a cool looking bowling alley. It feels like a hole in the wall kind of bowling alley. That was a pretty good day. hmm We all ask ourselves that, Phil. Mhm. Ah, I'd be a little upset, but I get over it and try and enjoy it. He can't move past it. Exactly. Just drink. You don't even get the hangover. You'll wake up fine the next movie. And Happy Death Day, she actually could feel the pain of what happened the day before. So I imagine if she got drunk in Happy Death Day, she'd probably wake up with a hangover. While in this movie, if he dies, he wakes up to fine the next day, no problem. And if we follow the rules of the Avengers films, like Avengers Endgame and how their time loops, where he's just making different timelines everywhere. So however long he's gone on, there's just that many different timelines. Both. Yeah, I wouldn't let him drive either. Look how faded the paint is on that car. It's not wrong. I could always go for some flapjacks. There's a diner in town. I imagine it's 24 hours. Hmm. This guy's making a lot of sense, in my opinion. Whatever we want. That's probably what happens to a lot of my mail. Seems to get lost a lot. I love the brick streets, cobblestone. Those old rear wheel cars. Those cars are like boats. hmm See, another hint at his sister. So he's got a sister to drive on the railroad tracks. I myself never driven on the railroad tracks like this. Looks like a bad idea, if I'm being honest. Oh, DL's here. He wrote. Sorry, one second. He wrote. My wife came in the room and said, "I know that guy. He used to come in the bank to cash in checks from the supermarket in Wading River." That's exactly what I used to do, DL. The bank wasn't very far from me. That's really funny. I don't live too far from there anymore either. That's really, really funny. Tell her I'm doing all right, I guess. Oh my god, that's so fun. Such a small world. Ah. That's so funny. Oh my god. I honestly probably couldn't remember the face because there was, a lot of different tellers, but that's so funny. Yeah, I used to before I lived here. I lived in Wading River for 2011 to 6 years. Now I'm in Sound Beach, not too far, 15 minutes west. That's so funny though. Kind of blew my mind. Don't do drugs, kids. You will die. Unfortunately, Rogue One, that is true. See, this is how I'd be probably by day 3. Starting to embrace what's going on, lean into what's happening. Try and make the best of it at this point. See as much movies as you can. Hopefully, at 1993, I mean, it's Puxatawny. There's got to be a local video store somewhere. Take out a couple of movies. Really take in the classics. It doesn't strike me as a film fan, Phil Connors. I don't know what his hobbies would be. I imagine it'd be something self-indulgent, though. Mm-mm-mm. It's a little flustered, huh? So many different takes he had to do with this. Yep, learning. So a lot of these places, they built these sets. They really built that diner, which really blows my mind because look how lived in this diner looks. See, that's great production design. Like I would have believed that they found a diner and filmed in there instead of actually building this set. DL wrote, imagine waking up that time, time loop every day. How long could you keep doing it before you just go insane? I mean, I guess it'd probably be a year, honestly, before I started to lose my mind because, you know, nothing's moving forward. So you're only stuck where you are with those same people, and especially since he's living in it's a small town. He's at a bed and breakfast. That's not even your stuff. I'd probably go a year, and then it'd probably be like a year of like extreme depression, and then about another year of just like trying to embrace it again. Because what can you do? That's why he eventually just leans into it. And Rogue One wrote, I never laughed like that ever without the punch. The punch is great. That is just like, it just builds up to it so perfectly. And Bill Murray here didn't want a spit bucket. So he ate this donut like that, take after take after take, until the point he eventually got really sick. And honestly, if I was Bill Murray, I'd say the same thing because I have a really bad sweet tooth. And you put donuts in front of me like that, I'm like, I'm not, I don't need a spit bucket. You're talking to a professional here. You need me to put down a dozen donuts? I'm putting down a dozen donuts. Don't you worry about it. Thomas Aaron, damn, bro, that would be a good meal right there. Yeah. Well, they usually what happens is the production assistant will ask like the actors what they want to eat because they're eating the same thing over and over, and they try and give them food that the actors like, unless the scene calls for something specifically. But like in this case, it's breakfast food, so why not cater to what the actors want to eat or drink? So it makes all the sense that they would do it that way. So I imagine also Bill Murray smoking a cigarette absolutely kills me. He just doesn't give a shit. Back when you can smoke in diners, Oh, so Bill Murray's a hound dog. Just gonna pour a little bit more in my old glass here to my left. Having fun. It's Friday night. Lincoln, Pittsburgh. See, he stole this from Ned. So even though he's getting annoyed by Ned, he at least can respect Ned enough to the point where he's like, you know what? He's running a scam on me. But it works because he's doing it with a smile. He's persistent. And that's probably why he sells insurance. Do you guys remember clocks like that? No one, my grandfather had a clock like that. Nancy? She just off by herself dancing, Nancy? That's how we all react when somebody remembers who we are and you don't know who they are. No one wants to admit because you're doing it for the courtesy of the other person. You don't want them to feel like you don't appreciate them the same way they appreciated you. So you're just like, oh, Bill, that's right, yeah, and you let them explain where it all is, and he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. Good times. And they're like, no, it was terrible. No, oh yeah, no, it was. Oh man, very accurate in those situations. Unfortunately, I have been in that a few times. I guess I'm bad with faces, or especially when people age. Unfortunately, with how I look, I stand out in the crowd. Not in a positive way, though. Of course, by the fire. Eh, it looks like a romantic situation that they're having here. Oh man. Uh, oh boy, things got a little too crazy here. Yeah, you know what though? They keep it right in its lane. This is messed up though. Although he knows there's no tomorrow, or at least for him. But what about Nancy? What happens in her timeline? Or is God just teaching him a lesson so he's just like stuck in his own little like area off to the left? Who knows? Again, we don't know the reasoning for all this. So this just should illustrate how much time has gone on because you need at least like I don't know, a full month of going to that same spot every day to know every single thing that happens there. You got to be able to take it in and commit it to memory. I just do not think it would be a week. So I'm going to say a month at least for him to memorize this. And it looks like this isn't the first day he's done this. Damn, bro, that would be a good meal right there. uh, Look, he's even got it timed out to a T. Dropping them. Also, these guys are really bad at their job. It's like they hired me. It's going to cost them some money. Now, this is a great joke. Dressed up like Clint Eastwood from The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It's a different girl from before, too, which is really funny. It's the only film playing every night that he's awake. Call me Bronco. She goes along with it, too. Have Nancy come back. Doesn't remember him. the My old fiance. That's a great little line. That's a great job. Look at that, Sony. Man, those TVs reminds me of Batman '89 with those lined up like that, same size, probably 7 inches. Those captain chairs. This movie is just making me laugh. I've never laughed in these classics before. Rogue One Road. Yeah, I'm Rogue One. This is actually really one of my favorite comedies of all time. It's my favorite Bill Murray movie, and it really gets better each time you watch it because you start to notice things. That's the thing about a time loop movies is they age better. This movie just has grown on me year after year, and it's a Groundhog Day tradition for me to watch Groundhog Day, and I love it. You love the characters. You love Phil Connors. He starts out as a terrible person. He's not like a terrible person. He's just like a guy who you just wouldn't like, and he grows into a person who appreciates not just everybody else in the world, but he learns to appreciate himself for what he is, and that's the key to life, really. And Bill Murray wanted to lean into those philosophical views, while Harold Ramis wanted to lean into the more comedic moments, the more lighthearted moments, and that's where they butted heads on set. And it's crazy that ended their friendship and their working relationship, because they ended up making a classic, and in my opinion, the best movie they made together. But sometimes you have to sacrifice a lot, I guess, for the art is the message in that. But that's sad. I'd hate to lose a friend over something like that. Annie McDowell's looking for me. That's really what's going on here when she says things like that. It's just sad when you look in the mirror. I'd stay away from it. Rogue One wrote, that said to hear those two had a falling out because of a simple story. It reminds me that my friends that betrayed me. Yeah, Rogue One, unfortunately, from what I understand, it feels like, at least from the stories you've heard, that a lot of it's on Bill Murray. Bill Murray's again, I've never met the man, but from the stories I've heard, seems like a very like he can be a very angry man, a very like kind of bitter person. And Harold Ramis, a very lighthearted, gentle kind of a man, probably got fed up with him. Bill Murray probably saw even a friend of his that he could take advantage of and push him around, and that leads to conflict. And Bill Murray probably pushed Harold Ramis too far and said, "I just don't want to work with that guy again." And Bill Murray doesn't seem like the kind of guy to try and mend relationships or apologize. It wasn't until literally Harold Ramis's deathbed that they finally made up. It's very sad. I would hate for a friendship, like I try not to hold grudges for that very reason, because what's it worth? You live one life, and you're gonna, you know, lose a friend over something so meaningless as arguments on a film set. Especially, the problem is usually the guilty party doesn't realize they're guilty. Sweet vermouth rocks with a twist. Oh. uh, he thought he was. Oh, she's so disappointed by that. Now he knows. The next day, he got 3/4 of the way there. Tomorrow, we'll drink to world peace. What's in that cup? That dirty looking water. Ah. What are we drinking to? Maybe the wine. Maybe. It's just weird that she has that almost full cup of whatever's in there, and then she just ordered another drink. It doesn't look like, you would think it's water, but it absolutely, if it's water, it's dirty dishwater. And why would you even attempt to drink that? So I don't know. It's a weird looking color. It's almost milk watery. Oh. Uh, those beers look delicious. Now, what restaurant is this that they're dressed up like, Oktoberfest? Hmm. See, he's just chipping away at her. And it's not even like for genuine relationship at this point. That's why he has to learn the lesson eventually, is because eventually he will learn that he has to appreciate the woman that she is, and it's not about just sex. But at this point, he's just trying to get laid. And if you think about it, he probably has slept with numerous women in this town because we saw that it was with Nancy and then that other girl he's taken to the movies, and he just, the top of the mountain is Andy McDowell. So he's just trying to get that, but he never gets it really given to him. And Mr. Smelly Potato wrote, all of the interiors of these buildings are nice, right? That's what I'm saying. I love how they look. They look very comforting, very soft and warm, very relaxing places. Makes you want to move to Pennsylvania, or at least to Puxatawny. So they did just a great job with the set designs. It just feels like they really created that small town feeling, like the real, it doesn't feel futuristic. It actually almost feels old fashioned. A lot of the stuff looks like it's very like wood based, almost like in the mountains. I love how it looks. I really do love the interiors. I completely agree. And I speak in French. Tom Anderson wrote, damn, Phil, if you wanted to get laid, you have one job. He's just so desperate, too. He's trying everything just to get Andy McDowell. That just should show how many years have gone by. He's like desperate. I mean, Andy McDowell, I'm not going to lie. She's beautiful in this movie. Her hair is gorgeous. Do you guys know her daughter was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? I always find that fascinating. The snowman shop. Imagine that. Now, watch this scene. Bill Murray actually was getting really hit by these guys, and he was getting a little upset by it. So he starts to get hurt, and he gets aggravated for real. You can see it in his face. That's why he throws it so hard at these kids. Apparently, they just weren't playing ball with him. Here it is, Rogue One. Damn it, just kiss her already. Get to the time. Get out of the time loop. Well, who did she play in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? She's the main girl working at what was the name of the ranch? Something Ranch. Spawn Ranch. She was the main girl who was trying to get hitchhiked throughout the entire film, puts her feet up on the dashboard with Brad Pitt. She's the girl who takes him to Spawn Ranch. She's getting the ride back there. That's the girl. That's Andy McDowell's daughter. But a lot of people's daughters are in that movie. Kevin Smith's daughter's in that film. So is Maya Hawke, Ethan Hawke, and Uma Thurman's daughter. It's weird, actually. Oh, that girl, yeah. She doesn't look anything like Andy McDowell, too, so it's strange. What a nice romantic scene. It is. It really is. And he ends up blowing this scene, of course, because of he can't stay out of his own way, let's be honest. He's got one thing on his mind, and it's selfish, and that's why he has to continue to learn his lesson. Like in his short story, this is where we resolve this entire thing. He gets the girl, and we close up the time loop. But as you can see, there's a lot more time left in the film, so he's still got more of a lesson to learn. In the summer, you could definitely stay up on that balcony. Looks nice. Is she wearing a vest? You don't see that much. At the fake fire. I didn't even think about that. That is probably a fake fire, right? See? Just look at his eyes. He's focused on one thing here. Perfect end to a perfect day. He's been working on this perfect day for how long to this point, though? See the camera moving a little bit here? Wonder why. Ice cream on the windowsill. I guess you want to melt it a little bit? I don't know what his reasoning for that is. Damn it, Phil, stop being stupid, man. This is working out so well. In fact, I will this stream with my anger. Don't run the stream, Rogue One. We don't need you doing that. Watch what he does next. Easy, Rogue. See, he gets a little forceful here. He's see, lying again. This worked on Nancy, but Andy McDowell, a little bit smarter than Nancy. See, that love you shit worked just fine on the other girl. That's not going to work on her. Fudge. Making a checklist. Who hates fudge? Really? Of all things, fudge is delicious. Fudge is one of my favorite things on this planet. We wouldn't work. We wouldn't work, me and Andy McDowell. Fudge is okay, bro. Maybe I'm overvaluing fudge. I really have a sweet tooth. I really cannot stress that enough, especially with chocolate. I can give up all salts, all salty foods, but give me a sweet. Never. See how he's rushing through it now? He's going through all the motions. He doesn't care. And this doesn't work. When you're not fully committing to it, you're just trying to hit the beats. Never works. Yeah, my own kids. Any out for adoption. He doesn't give a shit. Who doesn't want kids? Actually, Rogue One, I should probably let you know. I'm more than likely not gonna have kids. It's probably not for me. I'm pretty happy with just having dogs for my whole life. I don't think I'd be a great father, to be honest. So I don't think I would do that to any other kid. Much better fathers and mothers out there than me. I'm a good dog dad. That's where he gets it. Where I'm gonna do ice sculpting. That's where he finally realizes, you know what, I can do this, and he goes on a nice 10-year journey to do it. And Rogue One just wrote, "Poor Phil, man. Just keep everything up. Always be yourself." He's got to learn not to be himself, Rogue One. That's the thing. He's got to learn that he's the one making the mistakes. I think he'd be a good father. I think John. I don't know, Rogue One. Maybe. I think I'd adapt to it if it ever happened, but I don't think I'd be a great dad. It's just certain things. This is a great set. I love watching this flip over to 6. That sound effect too. Oh, I love that. Such a small shot, not even meaningless. You could take it right out and no one would care. But I love that shot of the 6 o'clock rolling over from 5:59. And this is when we start to see depressed Phil. He's given up and he thinks that there's only one way out of this loop. He doesn't realize that's not the way out. Especially with the Atmos track. How did you think of the Atmos track? I thought it was really good, actually. Unfortunately, with the headphones, it's playing in Atmos technically because these headphones support it, but you're not getting the real experience of Atmos. But from what I remember from last year, the last time I watched it, I thought it was pretty good, the audio track on here. It's good score, and like a scene like that, I love that. I just love that scene. It's such a little thing, just drinking bourbon, whiskey right out of the bottle, not even caring. Look at him. This is me on a Wednesday at work. No, I used to eat it. Apparently, that is true. When they first started doing this, they would pull the Groundhog Day. They pulled it on Groundhog Day. They pulled the Groundhog Day, the Groundhog out, and then they would eat it. That's terrible to me. If someone who loves animals, you don't do that. But unless you're a vegetarian, I guess you're not really doing the right thing. Cold. Gonna be dirty. It's gotta be. That's a man who is in full blown depression. And he can't even seek help because he's stuck in a time loop. We saw what the therapist was. So he's got to like try and work through these emotions himself. And insanity. Thomas Anderson. Yeah, he's pretty much hit a brick wall at this point. And he has no way out, and he doesn't see a way out, so he's just giving up at this point. He can't even talk to anyone. At least he believes he can't ever talk to anyone. He's just stuck. Yeah. This is where he hits the wall, guys. The darkest is before the dawn, as the Dark Knight has told us. A little more. Yeah, he's not a big fan of Phil Criselli. Can you blame him? He treats Larry terrible in this movie. Rogue One World, damn, things get fun at first, but things get sad eventually. Yeah, it's gonna get a little dark here for a little bit, but you know, we'll have a positive happy ending here. But I guess at this point, I don't know how long really time has passed, but at this point, it's probably been what, like 30, 40 years. And he's probably seen anything positive he could possibly see, and it's just all negative for him at this point. And he thinks killing himself will solve this problem. Have to hop off. Work very early. Have a good night. Good night, DL. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Really appreciate that. Enjoy the rest of your night. Get a good night's rest, man. And Thomas Anderson wrote, sorry, my keyboard here stuck. There's something wrong with Phil. He's been going through a time loop. Good night, DL. Night, DL. Have a good night. Sleep, man. Oh, you guys are talking to each other. Yeah, Phil's at this point just hit. That's it. It's over. And he thinks that this will be the end. This will solve all his problems. Like, he's given up. He thought that maybe this time loop would end, but that's it for him. And look at the yellow lines on the road. This is where the HDR, oh my God, this is where the 4K looks just perfect. You can tell that the skies are gray. I remember this on VHS, never looking this good. Yes, I saw it on VHS. Yeah, that HDR was amazing. It really is good. Like, look at his skin. You see how sweaty he is and greasy he is? Guy's not using enough lotion. His skin looks just like mine. Bill Murray, Irish guy. Unfortunately, Irish skin, not the best, let me tell you. This looks great. In 4K, this looks absolutely 110% gorgeous. Beautiful. I look like I could step into my TV screen right now. That's how good this looks. Look at the dirt on the car, the dust. Oh. Never been to a quarry. Mr. Smelly Potato. I still only have the Blu-ray. Well, Mr. Smelly Potato, that's fine. It doesn't really matter as long as you're enjoying the movie. I'm not one of those people who judges whatever you're watching. And if you were watching this on a 7-inch screen right now, it doesn't really matter. The film itself is still great. I do think it looks beautiful in 4K, though. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I think it looks gorgeous right now. Right now, what I'm looking at looks amazing. But you know what? Any way you can watch this film and take it in, it doesn't matter. It's a great film. Look how messed up Bill Murray looks. He's so sweaty right now, and this looks like a man who's given up on life, unfortunately. And that's it. Well, there he goes. Sorry about that. Someone calling me late. That's a face of insanity. Yes, it is. Yeah, he's gone, Chris Elliott. Sorry, Lar. And it flips over, and he thinks he was gonna die, so he's pretty shocked at this point. Mr. Smelly Potato wrote, I will get the 4K someday. This Blu-ray looks very good, so I can just imagine the 4K. Yeah, a lot of it is source material. I had that Blu-ray for a long time, Mr. Smelly Potato, and I really enjoyed it. It was a good Blu-ray. I had not too many issues with it. So I think that the way they shot this film was probably really well. Actually, I was just talking to somebody about this recently as far as the Groundhog Day Blu-ray, and I told them I didn't necessarily need to upgrade right away. It's a great 4K, don't get me wrong. You'll be very happy when you get it, but the Blu-ray itself is pretty good. It's not one of the bad ones. It's nothing like if you have Predator on Blu-ray, huge upgrade to 4K. He's just trying to kill himself. It gets very dark, this film. And that's it. But like, why keep trying? If it's you know after like 2 or 3 falls or getting hit by a truck, it ain't working. Honestly, I think you'd survive this. Your life would be miserable, but I think you'd survive. Larry Lyon to try and impress Andy McDowell. Okay, the first time was funny, but the other times when he keeps dying, it gets depressing. Yeah, but they're after it now. I guess they were just trying to illustrate to the viewer that he can't die. I guess they're trying to get that message across to us that like there's no way for him to actually die. He tries. Like even like all this stuff he's talking about right now. So even though we only saw it like what 4 times, him trying to kill himself, he probably tried hundreds of times, all different ways to kill himself or be killed, and it just didn't work. So he's at this point where it's like, what do I do? So he's like, okay, I'm just going to tell someone at this point. I've given up. I have to tell somebody that this isn't working. I don't know what to do. So he'll just try. He's at full desperation. I'll try anything because it's just not working. I can't even kill myself. It's over. I have to do something else. He's just desperate. But look how much about the town he's learned. He knows everybody. It's not even a hard request. Oh, that's Michael Shannon right there. That's Zod. That's General Zod. And Michael Shannon's a great actor. If you've never seen him in anything else, but we just talked about, this The Shape of Water. Michael Shannon is one of the best villains in The Shape of Water. This is a good scene. I love this scene. It does hit you because he's just at that point where he's like finally ready to change. He's tried everything. Like you finally get to see him put his guards down. Yeah. Makes noise like a chipmunk. Let me ask you guys, if this ever happened to you, like if somebody came up to you and they illustrated this all out to you and told you everything that's going to happen for like a full minute, would you believe them? Would you believe they were in a time loop? I'll be 100% honest with you. I wouldn't believe it. I wouldn't believe that person. I would think they were lying to my face. It'd be hard to believe. You just like, you would be like, okay, that's something that happens in a movie. That's something that can't happen in real life. But how do you know? If somebody approached you like this, telling you everything he's saying right now, would you like it's a complete stranger? They've just met a couple days before this. I don't know. I wouldn't believe them because just logic would kick in, and unfortunately, I have a hard time believing people like that if they're just spewing out insanity. But I mean, he's not lying. We know he's not lying, and we want Andy McDowell to believe him. It's crazy. I feel so bad for him. Rogue One 677 wrote this movie is pretty funny, but I like how they also have moments of sad moments and slow moments. He makes it believable, Mr. Smelly Potato wrote. Yes, he really this is what kind of leads him to working with Wes Anderson, is that they finally showed them because before this, Bill Murray did not do drama. Like I guess Quick Change had some drama in it, but for the most part, he's a straightforward comedic actor. He's even used for comedic relief in other movies. So Bill Murray, not seen as a dramatic actor at this point, but finally people saw that he can balance it. And this movie does balance the drama and the comedy. And Rogue One, you told me before yourself, you're a big fan when they add drama and comedy together. And this movie finds a great balance of that. It can be very dark at points, but it has some of the biggest laughs you'll find in any film. And that's why I love this movie so much because, and also I'm a big fan of philosophy and philosophical stuff. And this movie is really exploring what it's like to be a human. So it's just a fantastic film for me overall. Yep, Rogue One. I told you, yes, you did. I didn't want to tell everyone our personal conversations, but yeah, you told me that yesterday how you like that. So that's why I thought you would love this movie. Like this is right up your alley. I thought just trying, especially at this point, it's full blown drama. Like imagine feeling what he's feeling right now, Bill Murray. Like he's finally found a connection with a human. He's alone at this point for all these years. Everybody else resets the next day. He has all the memories of the previous days. He's got to live with that. This is the only way he lives at this point. At this point he thinks he's never getting out of this. There's no way he can get out of this. But he probably wakes up every morning with the hope that it's finally the next day because he's at that point where he's just desperate, but he's finally realizing, you know what? The way I've lived my life is the wrong way to live my life. And he's like, okay, maybe I'll try being nice to other people, even at the sacrifice of myself. He's learning to finally not be selfish, appreciate all these people. We see him at the first part of this movie. He's just trying to get laid. He doesn't give a shit about anyone but himself. He's going to take full advantage of this time loop. But at this point, he's run through all that and he's just trying to finally appreciate these people for what they are. Oh, don't worry about that, Rogue One. That's no big deal. I just didn't know. I didn't want to really blow up your spot. That's all. So that's why I just kind of left it ambiguous. uh it's funny. Has he tried? He had to have tried, right? Like getting to 8 in the morning or something like that. Like, why wouldn't you? Just jam coffee down your throat at the diner and just try and get it all down. Like, how do you not wait and see what happens? He seems pretty confident that it's 6 a.m. and the way they always flip over from 5:59 to 6 makes me think that this time loop it is 6 a.m. So no matter where he is, he'll just automatically reset at 6 a.m. waking up. At least that's how they kind of show it to me in this film. Appreciating a good book. And Mr. Smelly Potato brings up a great point. He wrote, if you relive the same day every day, you would never have to go to work. But man, don't tempt me with wanting to relive the same day over and over again. If I never had to go to work again, that would be the greatest thing in my life. So maybe one day. Hopefully, I get lucky, get to repeat the same day. You're right. That'd be the first. Honestly, at this point in 2024, it wouldn't be bad. I mean, I would obviously lose out on all future films, but there's so many classic films that I still have to catch up on that I'd watch every movie. I guess after I've watched every movie, though, I'd be like, what do I do now? I guess that's probably what Bill Murray hits. He's probably like, what do I do now? He's finally appreciating Andy McDowell. See how he doesn't try to sleep with her at this point? It's really beautiful. Rogue One wrote, no, you do not want to repeat the same day. It'll be scary as hell. Oh, yeah. And the thing is you can't even confide in everybody. You're really stuck by yourself because no one's going to believe you. This movie really is heartwarming and funny at moments alone, Thomas Anderson wrote. Yeah, it really is a special film. That's why I think it's a masterpiece. It really is truly one of my favorite films. It never gets old. Not to me. And I also love the Groundhog Day concept
of repeating the same day. It's fascinating to me. That's why every time another movie uses it, it really just it works for me. The two Happy Death Day films, Edge of Tomorrow. I just think that's just it's a special kind of movie trope, and it really hasn't been around that long. It hasn't been used and abused to the point where it's like, ah, I'm sick of that. This scene is beautiful, though. You're right. You're 100% Mr. Anderson. She's so sweet, Annie McDowell, in this. And he probably is like, come on. Are those two chocolates next to the clock? I never noticed that. I love chocolate. Like that slow pan over, like we might think that's it. Foreshadowing what the actual end of this movie is. Because it's cold outside. Rogue Happy Death Day was pretty funny while also having emotional moments and great death scenes, especially the car fire scene. Yes, that was great. Edge of Tomorrow is pretty good also, especially with Tom Cruise. I really love Edge of Tomorrow. Really showed me how Emily Blunt can really bounce around between different genres. She's great in that movie. And they've been talking about they renamed the movie. I think it's called Live Die Repeat officially now, but I still call it Edge of Tomorrow. But once we get to the second one, I just think it's too little too late. And I think we'll be let down, even though they've been talking about it for years. I would love them to do a second one. I don't know what they would do. I think Edge of Tomorrow is as good as we're gonna get. I think it's a great movie. I don't think it lives up to like Groundhog Day. I think Groundhog Day is one of those special movies. Oh man, I would love a pastry at this moment. Buster Green. Edge of Tomorrow is actually based on a comic or magma of the same name, I believe. You're 100% right, Magna. What did I say? I said it wrong. Manga. That's it. Edge of Tomorrow is actually based on a manga or comic book of the same name, I believe. I believe I read that somewhere. I think you're 100% right, Rogue One. So probably there's sequels to that, and that's they could base it on, kind of like how Ghost in the Shell has a sequel to that as well. Even though I think Ghost in the Shell is one of the greatest animes of all time. This is where he gets the idea to play the piano. It's actually really sweet. I love this. This is a good joke as well. I should have learned the piano is what I realized. Nope. He's had all this money, which we know he stole from those two guards. Ah! Kicks out the student right away. $1,000. Yeah, I'd probably do that too. Wonder if this actress ever became anything. Probably so confused. Ah! This is what I would be doing. Try new things. He's so starstruck now. This is my favorite joke in the movie. Very impressed. Oh, that's not the part. I guess I guess it's a little bit after this. I thought that was the one. That looks good in 4K. Gorgeous in 4K, actually. I mean, that's just impressive. This is probably it. Yes, but my father was a piano mover, so I love that. Very similar to a joke in Ghostbusters 2, which co-written by Harold Ramis, and he said that guys, it was actually Rick Moranis. Is like, guys, I only got my law degree in night school. Well, that's fine. We got arrested at night. Yeah, this will throw me off too. Ned, just trying to get him off him, make him feel uncomfortable. The piano here is also very nice. This is what he starts to realize about the homeless man. Finally showing that he cares about people. Look on Ned's face is hilarious. Mr. Smelly Potato Road. He's like, okay, I don't know what's going on here, but I made a horrible mistake. I'm gonna leave. I don't need to sell insurance that bad. It's not sad. I mean, he had to die of something. Really makes you just appreciate life a little bit in scenes like this. The score works perfectly with the scene like this. He's like, this man can't die. He starts to care about these people. I always thought the saddest part was when he's in the alley giving him CPR. Oh, it's coming out. That's really sad. It's because he can't realize that he thinks that he could actually save this guy. He thinks, okay, I'm going to stick with him all. At this point, he's probably been with him all day, and he's like, I'm going to stick with this guy. I'm going to make sure he doesn't die. But right here with the CPR, you were talking about Mr. Smelly Potato. Unfortunately, there's no way to intervene. This is the day that he dies, this guy. And that's what the nurse was saying. Like, unfortunately, people die. Like, it's going to happen. It's inevitable in life. So this is his day. Like, no matter what you do, this is the day that this old man unfortunately passes away. And it's hard for him to accept that, but this is a lesson that Phil Connors needs to learn. It's all part of his journey to finally realize in the present. That's why he's looking up at the sky right now. He's learning to appreciate life. Damn, this scene is it's horrible. But look, it leads to this scene. Look how everybody's looking at Phil right now. He's finally mastered. He doesn't have to do this. He knows he's going to repeat the next day, but he's trying to do this for all of them. He's doing it for Andy McDowell. He's doing it for Chris Elliott, Brian Doyle Murray, everybody in this scene. He's making everyone finally feel like warm inside. He's trying to be unselfish finally in this movie. Touched him. Larry. Look at the green on that scarf. That's how good this 4K is. That guy right there with the blue hat and the blue earmuffs. That green scarf, that blue-green 90s scarf, looks great. Sticks out. She's smitten with him, Andy McDowell. She's like, that's my guy. But he's like, I can't be with you right now. I got to save a life. Tough they self, I would say sometimes. Yeah, I agree. You never thanked me. After all these years, well, it's years for him, but for him, it's the same day. Nice sob in the background. This is sweet. This is a weird scene that I really like, but think about it. A few old ladies, and for them, this is gonna ruin their day. But he's like, I'll jump in there and help them out. He was just waiting for it to happen. He had the tire and the jack, so he's seen this happen so many times. He's like, all right, I'm going to make sure that these little ladies enjoy the rest of the day. That's all he's trying. At this point, him realizing that not being selfish is the best way to change things. This is good. How he saves his own brother, Brian Doyle Murray. That means he knows that something bad happens. It's pretty grim when you think about it. I guess this guy probably dies that day if he doesn't intervene. That's one of the grim things if you think about it. Lights the cigarette. Wait, the kid would fall every day and would, well, oh my God, that is depressing to think about. Yeah, that's the one thing that if you think about it, that Phil Connors, how important he is. He saves that kid. He saves Brian Doyle Murray because they would both die without him. Unfortunately, he can't save the homeless man. No matter what he does, this is his last day. Poor Chris Elliott in that ugly ass sweater. Who are those people in this picture? A very old picture. Ah! Takes the tip back. What a piece of shit. Oh, Rita. Phil's already there. Playing the old piano. And keep a keen eye out for Michael Shannon if you know who Michael Shannon is, because this is a big scene in this movie when he gets some WrestleMania tickets. Phil Connors or John? Ooh, now it's talking about Phil. I love Chris Elliott in this movie. Chris Elliott, one of our really underappreciated comedic actors. I like that scene. The camera moving back when it looks still right here. Camera's moving very slowly back. Cut it off. He's that good. This piano. Let's watch how proud the piano teacher is of him as well. He's that good. He's good at what he does. The whole band's like, all right, this guy's got it. Mr. Smelly, I like Michael Shannon in Premium Rush and Let's Go to Prison. Michael Shannon is great. What's that one movie he did? It's like I think it might be called Thunder Road or something. I gotta find the name because there's this great movie he did, and he appears in a lot of this director's movie. Hold on a second. I've only seen it once, but I loved it. Other than The Shape of Water. Hold on. Take Shelter. If you guys have never seen Take Shelter, that movie is fantastic. Michael Shannon's best performance, in my opinion. Great movie if you haven't seen that. That's it. Yeah, Sexy Monkey wrote Take Shelter. Hello. That's the movie I was trying to think of. That movie is fantastic. Yeah, see Take Shelter. I'll have to check it out. I agree, it's great. Yeah, that movie, I've only seen it the once, but I thought that movie was just so well written, and the ending to that movie is perfect. Really, it's up to your interpretation, but I interpret it a certain way. I'm not going to spoil it. Take Shelter is great. Isn't that Jeff Nichols or something? Because he appears in pretty much all of his films. I got to find that now because I love Take Shelter. I think it was Jeff Nichols. Yep, Jeff Nichols. Jeff Nichols, a very underappreciated director. Just a great movie. It is. I really rate him. He's so good. Such a great movie. And there's the teacher again playing the piano. There he is. I can't believe how young Michael Shannon looks. You could just tell from the eyes because your eyes don't grow. And look what he gives him. I'd be happy too. WrestleMania! Oh my God. In 1993, they're going to WrestleMania 10, guys, and that's a great WrestleMania. Let me tell you, Owen versus Brett. Brett versus Yokozuna. Lex versus Yokozuna. Great WrestleMania at the Garden. Look at these extras. They don't give a shit. Oh, Dr. Connors. I'm sure he's happy about that. Help around the house again. This poor old lady putting her poor old husband to work. She's finally really falling for him because he's actually not actually trying to think about getting laid. He's actually thinking about loving this woman for real. He's learning his lesson. Rogue Runner, Dr. Connors, who is name? I guess he goes by Dr. Connors. And Sexy Monkey, I recommend take shelter. I recommended Take Shelter just the other day, Sexy Monkey Rogue. Yeah, I mean, that's one that I love that movie. I really do. I have to buy that on Blu-ray or 4K. I mean, it's not on 4K, but I have to buy it on Blu-ray. Hopefully it comes to 4K, but I don't think any Jeff Nichols film has ever come to 4K. So, unfortunately, it's like one of those smaller independent directors that doesn't get enough love. And it's a great movie. I really do. And it deals with mental illness in such a real, organic way. Like, you know, especially and with genetic mental illness, it really deals with it in such a really unique way. And I really appreciate that movie. I remember the first time I saw that, I was like, how did I let this? Because I didn't see it till I was 26 years old. I was really missing out. The Blu-ray looks and sounds amazing. All right, you sold me on it, Sexy Monkey. I'm gonna buy that Blu-ray because I try not to buy as many Blu-rays anymore in 2024, especially. I try and hope that they come to 4K, but I know that some movies just don't have the big commercial success, the big cult following that eventually they won't get that 4K release. And especially like if it's not a horror films will, even if they're bad, they'll come from Vinegar Syndrome. But like a movie like Take Shelter, it's a drama, an indie drama film. You know, unfortunately, those kind of get stuck on Blu-ray. But you know what? If it's a good enough Blu-ray, like you're saying, I'll definitely grab it because it's a great film. Jeff Nichols is another one. He's made so many great movies, like Mud. Oh my god, it really started the reconnaissance. I mean that and True Detective, and he won the Academy Award for Dallas Buyers Club. I mean, that's it. That's all Chris Elliott's worth. Oh, I got him. She doesn't have to spend $1. That's all you're worth, Chris Elliott. I'm sorry. You probably got more than I'm worth. Needle nose Ned. You see the groundhog on the sewn quilt behind them. Now, think about this. This is the last day for Phil Connors. So that means the next day, he's stuck with all of his insurance. What do you think? I think he cancels it. It's the sweater. Mrs. Smelly Potato Rope. Poor Chris Elliott. Yeah, Chris Elliott doesn't have it. Loving is a good Jeff Nichols film. Yes, Miss Sexy Monkey. I saw Loving. And, you know, for a person like myself, actually, I'm in an interracial relationship, so that movie definitely means a lot to me, especially. And I thought the movie was pretty good. I wanted a little bit more from it. It just felt a little. It didn't hit me like I hoped it would. And me and my wife are really looking forward to that film. You know, especially since she's a black woman, I'm a white man, so we were really excited for that. We liked it, but not my favorite Jeff Nichols film for sure. But really good, and the message is great. Rogue One, yeah, I do believe he he cancels probably afterward. Yeah, he has to, right? I can't stick with all that insurance for no reason. He's buying water damage insurance, which I should really buy. I just don't have the money for it. She's actually starstruck from the art. She's actually like emotionally struck from it. That's really good. You see how they light this a little bit differently? It's a little bit softer. The lighting like this is beautifully lit. It's creating almost like a 1940s, 1950s look, how they're lighting Andy McDowell in this scene. Bringing it to 1993, obviously, but look how soft it is. That's intentional. And the 4K is great. I can go on and on about that. Beautiful snow. It's the only thing that makes me reconsider leaving New York is the snow. I love the snow until you have to shovel it and drive in it. Okay, the 4K is great. You want to make a video on how good it is? Rogue One? I already made that video, buddy. Last year when this 4K came out right here, I made a video about how good it is. I do not remember what I said, though, to be 100% honest with you. I really need to do like a re-review every year on stuff because unfortunately with how technology advances so fast, things get like we're talking about the Christopher Nolan 4Ks. Those were really good at the time. People, I'm telling you, look at old reviews for the Christopher Nolan 4Ks, Rogue One. You'll appreciate them. From 2017 when the 4Ks first came out, like giving out 5-star. That's just how quick things like age. It's really unbelievable. Do we play Summer Punes wrote? I don't know why. I would love to though. Sexy Monkey, you mentioned to me in your comment section that They Live has better artwork on the Studio Canal version. I forgot to say that I made a slipcover for They Live, but I haven't printed it yet. Really, if you want to send that to me, Sexy Monkey, I would really appreciate that. I'm a big fan of artwork, especially like people who create artwork. I love that. It's one of my favorite things. I think the Studio Canal artwork for all of their 4Ks for all the John Carpenter films, I think is way better than what we got from most of the stuff came out from Scream Factory, but over in the Region B, they all came out from Studio Canal, and I think the artwork for Escape from New York, They Live is much better than we got here in the US. I wish we would have got what you guys got. Uptown Funk, I hate music. I don't know who Sammy Punitz is, but hey, I appreciate the comments. But why don't you like music? See, Rogue One asking people how they're doing. He's such a good guy. I've been Sexy Monkey. I've been making my own sleeves for years. Now slipcovers too. You told me I was actually reading about how you do that, and you were making steelbooks, I think, as well. I have to look more into your artwork because, yeah, I would love to actually buy some. You should think about selling your stuff. There's some people who follow this channel who actually the person who made the Point Break steelbook, they follow this channel as well. I really appreciate the artwork that people do. And if you do that, you should think about selling your stuff because if you're that good, it might be appreciated. I really do appreciate it. Like a really nice slipcover, really nice. You'd be surprised how much artwork can sell me on a film. I just appreciate that, especially when it ties in the movies. That's why I've been such a big movie poster fan for my entire life. It's that exact reason. Especially when people do their own creative custom artwork. I really do appreciate that. I always like slipcovers for Blu-rays. Slipcovers are the best, aren't they? And obviously the disc is the most important thing, but I'm a big artwork guy. I'm sorry, that's one of the big things that got me into film was the artwork on VHSs. They'd be enough to sell me to try a film, and I wish it was still like that, but unfortunately, I guess it isn't. I just did nice ones for Back to the Future and Rambo series. Oh, that's awesome because I actually have a video coming out this week about First Blood with who's in this chat, Shamrock Balls, aka David. We're going to be talking First Blood, so I would love to look into that. And one of his favorite films is Back to the Future. But that's all. I'm telling you, you're speaking right to me, who's somebody who appreciates custom artwork and appreciates artwork in general. Like that, that's really enough to sell me on a film. I'm not even kidding. It really is a big deal. Great happy ending, by the way, to this film. We had to do it this way. And that's it for Groundhog Day. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie. Just going to take the headphones off. Wow, have I been talking this loud the whole time? I hope it wasn't annoying you guys. I had the headphones on. Sexy Monkey wrote, sell them. I give them to friends for free. That's a beautiful ending. It really is a beautiful ending. You think they actually end up living in Puxatawny? That's the thing. It's like I think there might be a religious meaning to it. Like, like this is God like testing this person, and then once he finally realizes the error of his ways, he decides, okay, now he can continue on with his life. He understands that he has a problem. He was a selfish person. At the end of the day, that's what Phil Connors was. Bill Murray played the character perfectly. He ends up having one of the best arcs in film history, learning his lesson, and I think he did truly learn. I don't think he ends up going back to being this terrible person that he was. And just a quick thing to reply to the Sexy Monkey. Yeah, if you do custom artwork and it's in line with those Studio Canal releases, buddy, you should try and sell them. I know it's probably hard. I believe me, I may try to make contact with all these companies myself, and it's very difficult to get a response. But if you're that good, definitely try it, because I always appreciate that. I appreciate art, especially when it ties in the film. My favorite thing in the world. I truly appreciate that, man. You should definitely try that. And if you're not, man, I'm sorry. Just just kind of how I speak. Rogue One 67 Road. That was an excellent movie overall. Definitely at a 9.5. I'm really glad you appreciated it. I was a little bit worried, but I'm glad you appreciated the film Rogue One. Yeah, like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite comedies, one of my favorite 90s films. It is my favorite Bill Murray movie. It's my favorite Harold Ramis directed film. You know, and that's putting it over Ghostbusters. Harold Ramis obviously didn't direct Ghostbusters, but he is one of the creatives. I would say it's Harold Ramis, Dan Aykroyd, and then obviously Ivan Reitman, who directed Ghostbusters, but he's one of the creative minds behind it. And Harold Ramis, he's just a phenomenal director, and he did a great job with this movie. This is his magnum opus. Obviously, he had to sacrifice his relationship with Bill Murray, one of his closest friends, and that's depressing, and that's a big deal. And it's sad to hear. I'm glad you don't want them to finally reconnect 11 years later, right before Harold Ramis dies, but that's what happened. You can't change history. You can't go back in time. I'm sure Bill Murray regrets it, but that's exactly what happened. Unfortunately, it's sad to hear, but this is the movie that broke the camel's back for their relationship. And, at least we got a great film out of it, but you hate to see that for Friends. What's it called? Sexy Monkey Road. I've been told that mine are the best. Other people's worlds. I never make that claim myself. Yeah, Sexy Monkey, if you are that good, you should really try and reach out, buddy. I really would recommend that, because if you're that good of an artist, if you want, please message me and send me some stuff my way. I'm going to check out your stuff anyway, but that stuff I really appreciate. But I really think that if you're that good, I truly understand doing it for yourself. I do, when I create my thumbnails and all the videos and everything like that, I put stuff in there for myself as well. But if you can make a buck on it, why not? Give it a try. Like, if you're that good, it doesn't hurt to give it a whirl, because if you're that good at it, you should be, at least try to be a little bit compensated. Obviously, I think that art is the most important thing. And, if you can make a little bit of money on it, that way you can make more of it. Because I probably, like myself, you have a regular Joe job and you're trying to make, a regular living while trying to like boost up the stuff that you actually love, which is probably designing custom artwork for films that you love. I truly can appreciate that. As somebody who appreciates alternate artwork in general, I love to see that. That's why I love the Studio Canal 4Ks. Unfortunately, because I live in the United States, if I were to buy the 4Ks from Studio Canal Region B Blu-ray, I don't actually have a region free player, but maybe in this year, if the business starts to make a little bit more money, the channel starts to make a little bit more money, I'll buy a region free player so I can buy the Blu-rays, because 4Ks are always region free. I don't have to worry about that. But Blu-rays, region B Blu-rays, I have to actually put them in a region B player. Sometimes they actually work on the Xbox. I don't know why. It's very random. But I would like to actually compare Studio Canal releases to the US releases, especially with the John Carpenter films. John Carpenter, one of my favorite directors of all time. I would love to get They Live, Escape from New York, because I think Escape from New York is another one that has fantastic artwork. So, yeah, definitely Sexy Monkey. Try that out, man. I think it would be awesome for you to give it a whirl and see if, maybe somebody will pick up your artwork. Like I said, I had people who follow the channel who have sold slipcovers, who have sold steelbook art, and like Point Break, the artists who made that steelbook for Point Break, they were able to sell their art. Like, that's awesome. I would love that for you, because that's, you get to do what you love. And in this world, it's very hard for all of us to do what we truly love. So that'd be awesome for you. I mean, I know it's hard. You're going to have to reach out to a lot of people, and it can get very discouraging to have people not respond to you, or, not, just write something negative back, but keep pushing on. You never know. It might work out. But as far as Groundhog Day goes, great film. For me, that's a 5-star film. It's one of the best that's ever been made. One of the greatest comedies that has ever been released. Bill Murray is fantastic. Harold Ramis directed the hell out of that movie. Andy McDowell, like I said, my favorite film from her, at least. And then Rogue One 67. What could be the next live stream watch party there, John? Rogue One, do you have any recommendations for the next one, actually? Because I'm just going to put it out a poll. This just lined up perfectly. It's February 2nd. I have Fridays off. It's Groundhog Day. I thought there's no better time to watch Groundhog Day with the entire community. So I thought today worked out perfectly. But what do you think? I was trying to think of something myself. I was going to put out a poll and ask everybody else what they thought. But if you have any recommendations I can put in that poll, let me know. I guess it would still probably be winter, so maybe a winter film, spring film. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure, but Valentine's Day is this coming month. Maybe romantic films, maybe horror films, maybe My Bloody Valentine. That's a good one. I haven't reviewed the 4K here on the channel. Sexy Monkey just wrote, Valentine's Day. Yeah, I knew you meant, buddy. But yeah, maybe I'll buy the Screen Factory 4K. We'll review it on the channel. We'll watch it along together. Like, I've never done that before where I've live reviewed a 4K. We could try that maybe. I'm always open to ideas. If anyone ever has any ideas that they want to recommend to me, I'm very open to them. Anything. Try anything out. I only have the 3D remake with the glasses. I don't actually have the remake. I bought the original from Screen Factory last year on Blu-ray, and then the 4K came out in October, I believe. So that's just my luck. RoboCop, Mr. Smelly Potato. I would love to do that. And Sexy Monkey wrote, a stranger asked me to make the sleeves for the entire Final Destination series. If you did that, Sexy Monkey, that would be awesome. I have the 5-film collection back there, but it's not like I can't buy like individual Blu-ray cases for them and then put your artwork inside of them. Like, if you do that, let me know. Please reach out to me. I'd buy them from you 100%. Like, you deserve that if you're doing such great artwork. And I love the Final Destination. Well, my wife, Faith, if you guys seen her on the channel, that's one of her favorite film series of all time, the Final Destination series. So she would love that as well. So if you definitely do that, I would appreciate that 100%. I would definitely reach out to you, Apple Pay or whatever, just for him. That would be awesome. But Mr. Smelly Potato wrote RoboCop. That'd be a great one. I like that idea. I can try to pick it up, the Blu-ray or in my local store, and let it be the director's cut, since the version would be good version that is more graphic robot. So maybe we'll do My Bloody Valentine at the end of this month, maybe in like 3 or 4 weeks, and then we'll do RoboCop for April. I actually want to rewatch the RoboCop Arrow Video 4K Blu-ray and do a review for the channel. I did that when it first came out in April of 2022, but like I said, the channel itself was still getting its footing. I think we were all a little bit too green. I really was, like I said, I taught myself how to edit, shoot, and light everything myself, so I'm sure it was terrible. I would recommend not watching that old review. I think we understood everything, but I just hate how the audio and visuals look. So I would like to do a re-review of that. So maybe eventually we'll do that. And Sexy Monkey RoboCop, still to this day, the most violent film I've ever seen. I love RoboCop. And yes, especially the director's cut of RoboCop is just violent and gory and over the top and kind of disgusting at points, especially when Murphy like dies, gets his hand blown off. Yeah, RoboCop would be a great one to rewatch. Rogue One wrote, I mostly joined in April last year for the Mars Attacks video, which is really funny that you joined for that video, Rogue One, because that's a recommendation from somebody else for me to review. And I'm really glad you joined then. I'm glad. Before, I would say, honestly, that's when we started really getting going. The first year of this channel was, I'd say, pretty rough. We were trying originally for this channel. Channel was designed for it to be movie reviews and video game reviews combined. So Matt was going to do the video game reviews. I was going to do the movie reviews. And, Matt, obviously you guys realize he's not here now. He kind of bowed out. He left the channel in May of last year. And we completely dropped video game reviews, mainly because I don't play as many video games. I'm more of the movie guy than Matt was. So we kind of just became fully a physical media channel / movie channel. We don't even really do too many new movie reviews here anymore, but we still do physical media reviews. And I'll always give you guys a film review in there as well. And, we kind of found our footing as things have gone on. But I do think that the first year when we were really learning everything, those videos are not the greatest. So if you guys go back and watch like RoboCop's 4K review, I'm not embarrassed by it. Like, you kind of have to take that step to get to where we are now. So it is what it is, but I would love to re-review that. And Rogue One success. Oh yeah, I forgotten you guys did video games at one point. Yeah, the first year we had a lot. Honestly, we bought all the equipment. We actually just sold it because, even though Matt left the channel, Matt's my cousin. So like, our friendship has never even wavered, even with the channel. So he's still around. Like, he literally lives 3 minutes away from me. Like, Like, he's still my best friend of all time. Like, we still love each other, even though he's not with the channel anymore. And what he did was kind of a scumbaggy thing, and he knows that. We dropped the video game reviews when he left, and I kind of I think the channel just had to be more focused. So that first year, I just think we were unfocused, trying to find our footing. And when you guys go back and watch those videos, you could see that we were just very raw, very green. And I try and tell people, like, new people find old videos from 2022 and they'll comment like, "Oh, you guys are out of focus." And I'll try and explain to them, like, yeah, it was just, we were learning. We were really learning. We were learning on the go. No one taught us anything. So it's much better produced now. And I really, I'm a little bit embarrassed of those. Those videos could have been better at a point. The Terminator Home Movie Media Review, where you and Matt talked about it. Yeah, that's the thing, Rogue One. Like, we were just learning, and Matt was very, I don't know how to put it. Matt was very stressed, and that's why he left. That's really what it boils down to. He couldn't handle all the work, because when you have a YouTube channel, like, I have to still work a regular job. I work 40 to 48 hours every week at my regular job. I do a YouTube channel. So, like, it's not like I have free time, really. This is my dream. I want to eventually make this into my only living. And to do that, you have to sacrifice a lot to make that possible. Let me just tell you. And I was very naive and ignorant to what that was. People really think that YouTubers make a lot of money. I learned the hard way that is not true. You have to be passionate about this. That's why I only really review movies that I absolutely want to review myself, because I'm spending my own money out of my pocket, and it takes a lot of work. And it really does, but I love it. It's my passion. Film is my passion. So hopefully one day it does turn into more. But for Matt, it was tough. He couldn't handle it. And I understand that. I completely do. That's why I don't really get too upset about it. Like, it is what it is. And I think we're finally building a real, true community. And Sexy Monkey wrote, I haven't played a video game since 1998, and that was on floppy disk. Street Fighter, great game to play. Great game to play. Yeah, I still play a little bit of video games, but not as much as I used to. When I was a kid, video games are probably one of my favorite art forms. But as I've gotten older, unfortunately, I still, like, I'm watching the movie right now on a Series X. I keep it around, but I don't get to play as many games I would like. I probably play like 2 or 3 games a year, and that's really it. 88 he wrote. I love what's it called? Call a shot. I love when Matt was teaching how to eat like a human. Yeah, those were fun. I really enjoyed those segments when we were eating on Let's Talk Physical Media. We'd buy food every week. I don't know if you guys were around for that, if everyone was, but yeah. We'd buy food every week. I'm a very sloppy eater. So if you guys watch those videos, you watch me eat like an absolute slob. And it was kind of fun as well. I miss that aspect of the show, because right now the show is just me and Faith pretty much. And it's a different show now. Let's Talk Physical Media. But when it was me and Matt, we had fun with it. It was different. We ate food. We kind of just shot the shit, which is kind of what we do. Just Matt had a hard time in front of the camera, and I get that. It's not for everybody. Not everybody can talk. It feels strange, especially. I remember that's why when you watch the first 6 months of our videos, even when it's me by myself, it's hard to like look into a lens and say what you want to say. You have to kind of like pretend like you're talking to somebody else. It takes a lot to get used to it. I understand why Matt hated it. He really did, and that's why he's never come really back. Like, he has an open invitation. Like I said, 3 minutes away, I could just easily, like, you see right there, that's all the lights and stuff. Bring it to his house so we can shoot. So he's not into it, and I completely respect that. Rogue One wrote, well, damn, 1988. Whoa, yeah. Sexy Monkey, though, I'm serious, man. You should try and sell your stuff, because if you're that good, and send me some stuff. I love alternate artwork. I'll pay you for it. I will. I'm always willing to support independent artists. I know how hard you guys got it, especially like in the world we live in today. I know I've read so much stuff, even like film criticism. Like, I wanted to be a film critic, but like not turning to YouTube, like, and being a written film critic, like, it's pretty much been eliminated. It's sad to see, because it's all the stuff that I loved growing up, film criticism, and it's not the same anymore. So it's sad, but that's just the way the world is right now. So I understand that. I would definitely fully support you, man. I would love to see your alternate hours. So definitely reach out to me on Instagram or something. But anyway, guys, that's gonna probably do it here for me tonight. And if you guys have any recommendations, please leave them in the comment section below. What you guys want to see for the next live stream? I love doing these watch alongs. This is a lot of fun. I love watching Groundhog Day. So whatever you guys want to recommend, we'll do like a poll or something in like a week or two. Leave it in the comment section. I'll make like a poll with like 4 films, and we'll leave them all there. Definitely have a good night, everyone, and good night. Sexy Monkey wrote, I've sold some slips to Pop's Movie Dungeon, but nobody else. Don't know if you know him. I don't really. I'm not too familiar. But Sexy Monkey, reach out to me. Let me know what your stuff is. I'll pay you for it if it's like I definitely want to see artists get more love. I know that's a hard thing to really step your foot into, but I would love to support independent artists. It's something for me personally that I really appreciate. I know that I realize it's a very niche audience, like just like even doing this YouTube channel. We're talking physical media movies at this point, very niche, but people do love it. So people should support people like you who make this alternate artwork that you can make sleeves and slip covers out of. I would definitely love to. So look for my Instagram, Facebook, just message me, and I would pay for it, man. I really would. I love supporting independent artists. It means a lot. I hope it really does work for you. So thank you for your vote of confidence. Yeah, you definitely deserve that. I know how hard it is, and I don't want you. I just always feel bad for the independent artists because I really feel like in this world where the world's run by corporations, it's very hard to get your foot in the door. And you guys definitely deserve more respect, especially for the work you do. So, I hope that you get more stuff sold. I know that it gets discouraging to get no replies. Believe me, as somebody who reaches out every single day to like these major companies to try and get a reply, it gets discouraging. I understand, but you got to keep chipping away. Eventually, you'll hit the right person. I just can't get discouraged by it. I get it. Believe me, trust me. I've been doing this for like 3 years now, and it gets very, very. It gets hard, but you know what? Eventually, it does pay off. So anyway, guys, I got to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this stream. We'll be seeing you around. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks for being here with me. And if you're watching this on the rewatch, thanks for checking this out. It means the world to me. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.